You can have a bowel movement every day and still have a colon that is quietly congested, exhausted, and dependent. The truly frightening thing is not constipation itself, but the way we have been treating it for years. My name is Ethan Marshall. I am a 60-year-old physician practicing in the United States, specializing in holistic health, and I want to begin with an uncomfortable truth. Many people are damaging their colon every single day, while genuinely believing they are healing it. If you have ever reached for laxatives just to get through a bowel movement, there is a good chance you are already on that path. Before we go any further, if you care about health content that goes straight to the root, without sugarcoating or avoidance, please subscribe to the channel, hit like, and share this video. That is the only way we can continue creating content that truly serves adults and older viewers. Over more than 30 years of practice, I have met countless patients in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, who begin their story with a familiar line. "Doctor, I only use laxatives when I really need to." But that, when I really need to, begins to happen more and more often. At first, it is a few days without a bowel movement, then a feeling of heaviness, bloating, fatigue, and eventually dependence. What is striking is that most of them do not think they have a serious problem. In their minds, constipation is a minor issue, as long as there is a quick fix. And modern society has taught us a very dangerous habit. Whenever something feels uncomfortable, there must be something strong enough to shut the symptom down immediately. But nature does not operate by that logic. The human colon was not designed to be forced, shocked, or chemically stimulated day after day. In traditional natural health systems and classical nutrition, food has always been considered the first tool of regulation, while medication is the last resort. Yet today, many people have reversed that order. They ignore the body's subtle signals, overlook the role of daily meals, and choose the shortest path, one that appears convenient but often is not. I often ask my patients a very simple question. Before taking that pill, have you truly given your body a chance to self-regulate? Or are you demanding that it function according to your will, regardless of what is lacking inside? Your kitchen, if viewed correctly, is not just a place to cook, but the first natural medicine cabinet humanity has relied on for thousands of years. The issue is not whether you can have a bowel movement on a given day, but whether you are teaching your body to function on its own or training it to become dependent. Before I move into more specific analysis, I would like you to think and answer in the comments. A. Do you believe constipation is a small issue as long as there is medication? Or B. Are you beginning to suspect that your body is trying to tell you something much deeper? Constipation is often misunderstood as a simple condition measured by how many times one uses the bathroom each day. But this perspective hides the deeper physiological nature of the problem. A person may have daily bowel movements and still experience functional constipation if the stool is dry, hard, requires excessive straining, or leaves a persistent feeling of incomplete evacuation. The essence of constipation lies not in frequency, but in the quality of elimination. When the colon lacks water, soluble fiber, and sufficient biological lubrication, stool becomes dry, moves slowly, and places pressure on the intestinal walls. Over time, this weakens colonic motility, causing the elimination cycle to lose its natural physiological rhythm. Another critical issue is the confusion between relieving symptoms and addressing causes. Stimulant laxatives can trigger rapid bowel movements, but they do not correct the internal environment of the colon. On the contrary, frequent use of strong stimulants gradually reduces the colon's ability to contract effectively and weakens the neural reflexes involved in elimination. As a result, the colon becomes dependent on external agents to function, while root causes such as dehydration, lack of natural fiber, or an imbalanced gut environment remain unresolved. This mechanism explains why many cases of constipation progress from temporary to chronic, particularly in middle-aged and older populations. In addition, constipation reflects a broader imbalance in the physiological conditions of the digestive tract. When the diet fails to provide sufficient components that support elimination, digestion and bowel movements slow down. Prolonged stool retention not only causes mechanical discomfort, but also increases fermentation and the reabsorption of unnecessary metabolic byproducts. This helps explain why constipation is often accompanied by bloating, fatigue, and a sense of heaviness in the body, even when it is not outwardly recognized as a serious disease. A proper approach to constipation must begin by recognizing it as a signal of insufficient biological conditions for the colon, rather than as an isolated malfunction requiring immediate repair. When the intestinal environment lacks moisture, bulk-forming fiber, and lubrication to allow stool to move smoothly, any coercive solution can only provide short-term relief. Understanding this nature is the foundation for shifting from a mindset of forcing the body to work to one of creating conditions for the body to self-regulate, opening the door to a more sustainable and safer approach to colon health. Natural laxative foods do not work through forced stimulation, but by restoring the physiological conditions necessary for proper colonic function. Each food in this group influences a different aspect of elimination, from regulating motility and softening stool to providing lubrication and supporting smooth muscle activity. Dried prunes are a classic example of combining fiber with sorbitol, a compound that draws water into the intestinal lumen. This mechanism increases stool moisture and supports gentle motility without causing sudden spasms. Figs, with their high fiber content, help increase stool volume and structure, making stool softer and easier to move through the colon. Unlike strong stimulants, the effect of figs is cumulative, making them suitable for long-term inclusion in daily meals. Apples demonstrate a distinct regulatory mechanism through pectin, a soluble fiber capable of adapting to the intestinal environment. Pectin absorbs water when stool is dry and helps stabilize structure when stool is loose, supporting balanced elimination. For this reason, apples are often regarded as foods that regulate bowel activity rather than overstimulate it. Flax seeds and chia seeds, when soaked in water, form a natural gel that coats the seeds. This gel acts as a form of biological lubrication, reducing friction between stool and the intestinal wall and helping stool pass more smoothly through the colon. This physical biological mechanism is entirely different from methods that provoke strong contraction reflexes. Leafy green vegetables add another crucial element to digestive health: magnesium, a mineral involved in relaxing intestinal smooth muscle. When smooth muscle relaxation is adequate, colonic motility becomes more rhythmic, allowing elimination to occur effectively without stressing the intestinal wall. At the same time, the abundant fiber in leafy greens helps nourish the intestinal environment and support natural stool movement. What these 5 food groups share is that they are not intended to create immediate bowel movements, but to improve the physiological foundation of the colon. By providing water, soluble fiber, biological lubrication, and essential minerals, they allow the colon to function closer to its natural state, reducing reliance on aggressive interventions and supporting long-term stability of elimination. A nourishing approach to colon care differs fundamentally from coercive intervention, in that it focuses on restoring natural physiological conditions rather than forcing immediate responses. When the colon receives adequate water, appropriate fiber, biological lubrication, and supportive minerals, bowel motility tends to self-regulate according to its inherent rhythm. This is a restorative biological process that unfolds gradually but consistently, in contrast to strong stimulants that provoke abrupt contractions and usually deliver only short-term results. In this context, natural foods do not command the colon to act, but create an environment in which it can perform its function effectively. The core difference between nourishment and force lies in their long-term effects on neural reflexes and intestinal smooth muscle. Strong stimulants cause rapid contractions, but with repeated use, these reflexes weaken, making the colon less responsive to natural signals. In contrast, when the intestinal environment is improved through appropriate dietary patterns, physiological reflexes are maintained and reinforced. Elimination then no longer depends on external triggers but on coordinated interaction between motility, stool pressure, and smooth muscle relaxation. Another key aspect of a nourishing approach is sustainability. Foods that support the colon can be incorporated into daily meals without disrupting overall physiology. This allows the body to gradually adapt to a new state in which elimination becomes natural, regular, and less stressful. Coercive methods, by contrast, often create a cycle of dependence. The more they are used, the more the colon's self-regulatory capacity diminishes, leading to the need for increasingly aggressive interventions. Over time, this affects not only colonic function, but also overall well-being, as elimination becomes incomplete and inefficient. Nourishing the colon also means respecting the body's biological rhythms. When internal conditions are properly established, bowel movements align with natural physiological cycles, often linked to daily habits and meals. This approach does not seek to control the body, but to foster cooperation between nutrition and physiology. That cooperation forms the basis of a healthy colon, minimizes reliance on aggressive measures, and supports stable elimination over the long term. Keeping the colon functioning smoothly should not be viewed as a problem requiring strong corrective measures, but as an ongoing process of care tied to daily dietary choices. When the colon is properly supported, elimination tends to return to a stable, regular pattern with minimal strain on the body. Rather than focusing on creating immediate reactions, a food-based approach emphasizes maintaining suitable physiological conditions, with water, fiber, biological lubrication, and minerals serving as foundational elements. When these factors are in place, elimination becomes a natural part of daily life rather than a recurring issue that must be fixed. An effectively functioning colon not only reduces local discomfort, but also positively influences overall physical well-being. When elimination is complete, internal pressure decreases, and sensations of heaviness and fatigue often improve, helping the body maintain internal balance. This is especially important during middle and older age, when physiological adaptability declines and aggressive interventions can have lasting consequences. Prioritizing gentle, natural, and sustainable solutions helps limit dependency on coercive measures, while supporting colonic function in harmony with biological rhythms. The core message of this approach lies in shifting focus from treating symptoms to caring for the foundation. Food, when chosen and used appropriately, does more than supply energy. It regulates key physiological processes. In this context, the colon is no longer an organ addressed only when problems arise, but one that requires proactive nourishment to sustain long-term health. Colonic smoothness reflects the harmony between diet and body, and that harmony underpins a stable sense of well-being. This conclusion does not call for abrupt change or extreme measures, but emphasizes the value of small, consistent choices in daily life. When food is viewed as a tool that supports physiological function, the colon has an opportunity to recover and maintain its natural rhythm. Keeping internal flow smooth through appropriate nutrition is not only a solution for constipation, but part of a comprehensive health strategy aimed at stability, gentleness, and longevity. Overall, constipation should not be regarded as a minor disorder requiring quick fixes, but as a sign reflecting the internal physiological condition of the colon. When the colon lacks water, appropriate fiber, biological lubrication, and essential minerals, elimination slows and loses its natural rhythm. Reliance on strong stimulants may bring short-term relief, but weakens intestinal reflexes over time. In contrast, a food-based approach focuses on nourishing the intestinal environment, allowing the colon to gradually restore its self-regulatory capacity. Familiar foods such as fruits, soaked seeds, and leafy greens, when used correctly, support elimination while promoting stability and gentleness throughout the digestive system. The core message is a shift from force to support, from symptom control to foundational care. An important lesson is that colon health does not come from quick solutions, but from small, sustained choices in daily life. Prioritizing natural fiber-rich foods, adequate hydration, and respect for the body's biological rhythm is the most practical way to maintain internal flow. Rather than waiting for the body to protest loudly, Proactively nourishing the colon each day reduces the risk of long-term imbalance and supports more stable health in middle and older age. When you think about caring for your colon, do you lean more toward immediate solutions or toward long-term habit changes? Please share your perspective politely in the comments below. If you would like additional valuable resources on natural healing and health, please fill out the form in the description to receive a complimentary health ebook. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and share this video to support us in continuing to provide trustworthy and meaningful content.